Sing it, Leigh. Come on.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's it?
That's all I got.
Really?
Yeah. I'm tired. It's raining.
Yeah, but you managed to be a one-woman wrecking crew. You walked into the studio, you break things, you knock things over.
Like a bull in a china shop, right?
You are a hot mess today. What is going on with you?
I don't know. It's just one of those days, you wake up at 5 and it's dark out and it's raining and it's really hard to get
dark
awake.
at 5 o'clock.
Well, it is when it's like it is outside now, raining and cold. It's not dark. It's not like dark, but it's not like sun shining, birds chirping.
I'm just having fun watching you backpedal. That's all. Welcome back from You were up in New York.
I was in New York. Yes.
No, New York.
No, it's not New York.
New York.
I was in upstate.
Upstate. Oh, okay.
So it's totally different.
Okay.
Where I grew
Saranac Lake area?
Lake Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I grew up about 5 miles from the big lake. Well, big lake compared to what we have out here.
Yes, we have little lakes. They have big lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband, when he first went to New York, he said, "Well, how big is your lake?" He was talking about Lake Sunapee, and it's about a mile wide and 2 miles long. And my dad's like, "Well, I don't know, I'm 100 miles wide, 200 miles long," something like that. It's a little bit
200 miles long. Huh?
I don't know. On a clear day, you can see Canada.
That's funny. That's funny. I know people that consider this to be Canada. They're like, "Wow, where are you?" I'm in New London. Oh my God, you're up by like the Canadian border.
You want to know a funny thing? When I used to work in Andover, New Hampshire, which is 2 towns over from New London, I'd be in New London. People would be like, "Oh, where are you working now?" I said, "Andover." They're like, "Massachusetts?" I said, "No."
Yeah, no.
So, anywho.
All right, well, let's pick up where we left off.
Okay.
Of course, you had your surrogate for last week,
Steve.
Mr. Steve Gunnarsson, who is it's always a pleasure having Steve in. We don't see nearly enough of Steve.
He is a pleasure to be around. So you were very fortunate to have him grace your presence last week.
We were talking about the emotions that caregivers experience, and we were kind of working our way down a list here, and wanted to get to the last 2 that we didn't have a chance to talk about, and that was number 6 is about loneliness and how even though caregivers are surrounded by people, there is that sense of loneliness because oftentimes they feel like they're by themselves. That they may not necessarily have the support system that they need. And of course, that can lead to increased stress levels. That can lead to some destructive behavior personally. So making sure that the caregiver is of sound mind and making sure that they're taking care of themselves so that way they can adequately provide care to that individual they're caring for.
Right. Well, loneliness is interesting because it presents itself in strange ways. When somebody is being a caregiver, it's hard to make the time to have your friends and make time for other important things in your life because you are consumed by the person that you're caring for and their needs, and then trying to maintain what you can with your own life. So you tend to not purposefully push people away, but it just kind of happens. So before you know it, your friends are not there. When you want to go out to a movie, you want to go get a pedicure, you don't have anybody to go with. So that's one way it happens. Another way it happens is sometimes people are afraid of the person who is ill, especially sometimes when it comes to like dementia. I notice with this, we have the seasons at Summercrest, which is our secure memory care community. I have families tell me, well, geez, since so-and-so was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, her friends haven't come around very much. And one person actually said to me, he said, well, it's almost like they think it's contagious. But people get nervous. They don't know how to act around either the person with the illness or the caregiver. And so they tend to back off. And that's like the last thing the person with the disease or the caregiver needs is, those important people to back off, just kind of, maybe you have to take a back seat and wait in the wings, but, let people know that you are there to help them when and if they need it. Mm-hmm. So,
And the last one I wanted to get into is, I want to put a kind of a reverse spin on this. Instead of talking about it from the negative standpoint, looking at it from the brighter side, which is making sure that the person is open to critiques and suggestions as opposed to taking a standoff approach and thinking the way that I'm doing it is the only way to do it. and that can be misinterpreted. I mean, when you think about it a variety of different ways, whether you're in the gym and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, can I show you a different way of doing things?" As a firearms instructor, I give people pointers. I'm also a certified personal trainer, so I used to, when I was active in the gym, I would, "Hey, can I show you something?" And oftentimes, depending on how you take the approach, people can either be really defensive or really open to the possibility of changing their repertoire or what they're doing or how they're providing that care.
Yeah, you're definitely right, and I see it often too. Is that yes, people do get defensive. They think you're picking on them. That they think that you're noticing that they're doing something incorrectly. When if you approach it in the right way, it doesn't have to come off that way. Or the other side of it is the interpretation of the perception. But letting people know that there are other ways of doing things that they may not have thought about. And a lot of times what people will do is they will get defensive initially. They'll take that information, they'll internalize it, process it, and then they actually may understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. But it's hard when you're already stressed out because you are spread thin. To have somebody coming at you saying, "Oh, well, why don't you try this?" It's kind of human nature to be like, "Oh, they think I'm doing it wrong and they're picking on me." So being open-minded about other options.
And if you're the person that's approaching that person, also the way that you approach it, hey, you could do this differently. Mm-hmm. It might be a little bit harsh, but if you're sharing it from a personal perspective, hey, I understand what you're going through. I see what you're doing there. One of the things that's helped me in that situation has been to do this, this, and this. And it's a lot of times it's how you phrase it and how you present it.
You're exactly right. You're so smart. I mean, I don't care what people say about you, Keith. You really are. But
well, what can I say?
I mean, your perception of a scenario is very intuitive. So it's it's
also being on the receiving end too. I mean, it's for instance, I like bowling. Okay, mm-hmm. I love to bowl. I don't hold the ball the right way. I don't throw the ball the right way. I don't do anything the right way. Okay, and I was actually bowling, and I had somebody come up to me and they said, "You're holding the ball the wrong way and you're throwing the ball the wrong way." And I said, "Well, where are you bowling?" And he points at his lane, and I look up and I'm like, "All right, so you got a 167. Gee, I got a 230. I think I'll keep doing it my way. Thanks."
Is that how, do you actually throw the ball when you're bowling? I mean, it's more of a rolling motion, isn't it?
I kind of do a lob. Let's put it that way. But you know what? The objective is to get the pins down, and I do it.
That's right. There is more than one way to solve a problem.
Absolutely. Leigh Stocker from Summercrest. You can give her a call at 603-863-8181. Swing on by and get your personalized tour at 169 Summer Street in Newport, or check out their website, www.summercrest.net. That's www.summercrest.net. Leigh Stocker, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have yourself a great day. 7:51, you are listening to First Look on WNTK and WUVR. We'll be right back after this.
Compelling talk, local news, community-driven. News Talk 99.7, WNTK New London.